a few weeks ago, I recorded a video that had a lot of information about the process that I've been on. The Lord's been walking me through the process of healing from past trauma, healing from past hurts, healing from kind of past disappointments. And it was not something that I expected. It's definitely not something I would have particularly signed up for if I had not realized how far I would have come throughout the process. But it's something that I'm learning and growing in. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to process your way through a healing journey. It's not fun. In fact, in the beginning of this process, I came across a podcast by Christine Kane where she's talking about an injury that she had where she shredded the inside of her leg, basically going snowboarding down a huge mountain, and she had to go to rehab for her leg. Basically, in the video, she explains that her doctor says the injury she can technically recover 100% from, but a lot of people don't, because the recovery process from that injury is actually more painful than the moment that you got the injury. Sometimes we can go through things in life that just wound us in a certain way. It wounds our heart, it wounds our soul, it wounds the way that we think and that we're able to relate to and to perceive our world. And that can just be a really quick bad night, bad month, bad day, but we can carry that damage with us for years and years. Here at Iron Missions, we believe that wholeness is not only possible for every one of us, but it's God's plan for every one of us. And so for me, I've been walking through this journey. I found it to be very jarring. It took me a while to even come to a place where I could share this video with you guys, because at the time I recorded it, I kind of looked back and I thought, you know, I love everything that I said, but I'm just feeling too raw and I'm not at a place where I'm ready to put out any content on the subject. And so I saved it, I kind of sat on it, I kind of marinated with it, I sat with the information because I literally recorded it as I was processing it, and the Lord has allowed me to heal and allowed me to move forward. So we just really believe that if you're watching this video, then you're watching it at this specific time because God is either walking you through a healing journey or He is walking you into a healing journey, and He wants to help you. And so I hope that this video does that. I hope it helps you. I hope it brings clarity. I hope it inspires you to chase after the best that God has for you. And here's a little piece of my heart. Here's what I've been going through, you guys. Okay. I just really wanted to talk to you really quickly about something I've been processing and going through. The Lord has been so faithful to bring me through a process of healing and restoration. And originally, I thought that healing and restoration was a lot like stitches, where God just sews everything up in a nice, neat little line and it heals seamless and you don't have a scar. But y'all, I'm learning a lot more that healing is a lot. It's a lot more like treating a burn wound, you know, where they have to go in and scrape certain things out. Because whenever we go through something that's traumatic, something that hurts us or that wounds us, our natural instinct is to cover it up, is to heal as quickly as we can, is to move on as quickly as we can and try to get back to what we feel like is normal. But the problem with that is these critical incidences can create patterns of thinking and behavior that we may not even really be aware of. And whenever our brain, our mind, our soul heals that way, it's like a scab. And it doesn't live, and it doesn't breathe, and it doesn't move, and it isn't flexible. And sometimes when it's a really old wound, it can still be festering and not completely healed underneath that scab. And so whenever you submit to the Lord and ask Him to take you on a healing journey, or you find He's giving you in that direction, He's going to start scraping that stuff away layer by layer. And y'all, it can be daunting, it can be painful. A lot of times it'll re-expose wounds that you thought were long gone, you thought were long healed, and the instinct is to say, oh no, I'm over that, I'm healed, I processed that already. But sometimes that thinking and that processing can be sunk down in on so many different layers that we don't see it, we don't know it's there. So I would encourage you to allow God to take you through that process. And that's because when we allow God to take us through a healing process, He replaced that scab with fresh, growing, thriving flesh that is flexible, that is living, that adapts, that is healed. And you can grow and you can thrive with what God gives you. He gives you His grace. He can change a thought process that you had and change it into something that He has for you. And so instead of reacting in a way where you're wounded, where you instantly get offended, He can allow you to walk in empowered grace in an area. Or instead of walking in a way where you get anxiety in certain settings, He can allow you to walk in His confidence in that area. It's so much better on the other side of healing when He grafts us with His thoughts, with His way for us, with His way of operating. I promise you, it is so much better. And I've been going through it, and it's a lengthy process for me. And I don't know about you guys. Some wounds He heals instantaneously, and some things, you guys, it takes time. And maybe He heals something a little at a time, gives you a break, gives you a little bit of a breather, and you find yourself being bothered by that thing all over again. But just like if for some reason you wake up in the morning and you're limping, that's an indication that you need to give that area of your body more attention, not less attention. But we handle our mental health in the opposite direction, where if we're bothered, if we're feeling anxious, if we're feeling nervous about something, we want to give that thing less attention. So I really encourage you guys, let God heal you. Let Him take you through that process. Okay, bye.